So I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and I want to talk about narcissistic parents. Oh boy, is this gonna be a good one. So I'm gonna say it outright. Just because you have difficult relationships with your parents, it does not immediately mean that they're narcissists. I already made my video talking about untreated narcissists and people armchair diagnosing others with NPD. So if you want to see my thoughts, just, look for that video because I'm not gonna expand for this one. So when it comes to so-called narcissistic abuse, it's one thing to complain about an ex. It's one thing to complain about a friend maybe. But when it comes to narcissistic parents, oh, is there a lot of irony here? So there's obviously a separation between narcissists and non-narcissists, and I'm pointing this out because if you weren't aware of my NPD diagnosis and we were talking about our relationship difficulties with our parents, I bet we would be able to be quite sympathetic to each other. We would relate to each other really well. Narcissists and cluster B people in general understand very well the difficulties and struggles in parental relationships, and it's a common pattern within our disorders. So the reason I'm confident in saying that your difficulties and struggles with your parents don't make them narcissists off the get-go is because the reason you might not get along with them does not necessarily have to entail due to a pathological reason. I want you to think about what your type is romantically. Do you hate the people that don't fill in those boxes? Not necessarily, right? I want you to think about the people that you can't be friends with due to the fact that they have interests that you don't care about or hobbies that you don't feel like participating in. Do you hate those people? Not necessarily, right? Who's to say this same kind of reasoning can't be put towards parents, whether it's you to them or them to you? So the simple fact of the matter is, if people are not compatible with each other, but they have to remain a close distance due to being family, you don't think that they're gonna naturally start villainizing each other? It's a hard pill for people to swallow because there's a greater expectation that you get along with your family. So, oh, of course it's my parents' fault, or of course it's my child's fault. And sure, you've spent more time with your parents more than me and anyone else, obviously, but unless you're talking about an actual diagnosis, you're still armchair diagnosing. And just to drive my point even further, because people don't want to acknowledge nuance, just imagine all of the great friendships between introverts and extroverts. Imagine if all of those introverts had to hang out with those extroverts more than they were actually comfortable with. You don't think those friendships are going to burn in flames? I've even heard people say that their relationships with their parents have improved significantly since they've moved out, or basically, had their parents in their lives in smaller doses, and I don't see the difference in actuality.